This is ABTV, Animal Bites Television.
I am absolutely dying from cuteness with these little monkeys right here. Of course, this is an albino snapping turtle, and this is an albino sulcata tortoise. And we're teaming up with the Reptile Report 2015 Best of Awards and giving you guys an opportunity to win one of them. Now that's pretty awesome, and it's all to raise awareness for the TTPG, the Turtle and Tortoise Preservation Group. And some people really stepped up to the plate. The Turtle Room donated this albino snapping turtle that you guys could potentially win, and the Arizona Tortoise Compound gave this cute little guy here the Albino Sulcata. And later in the show, we're here at Garden State Tortoise, and they're going to give away some Western Hermann's tortoises. So I'm going to give you the ideas there, and we're going to look at their amazing collection. This is going to be an awesome day.
My name is Brian Barczyk. I'm no zoologist, just a guy with a passion for animals. And that passion often takes me on animal adventures around the world. This week I'm in New Jersey at Garden State Tortoise. Make sure to keep watching for your chance to win $10,000 in turtles. You're watching Snake Bites.
So we're here at Garden State Tortoise, and they have an amazing amount of awesome turtles and tortoises, but there's probably none more iconic than the two animals that I have right here. And of course, this one here is named Ellie, the Galapagos Island tortoise, and this guy here is named Mickey, the Aldabra tortoise. Of course, when you think of tortoises, you really kind of think of these ones, these monsters that live forever, and they can get up to 600 pounds. And there's kind of a controversy between which one of these are actually the larger. Some people say Galaps are larger, some people say they're Aldabras. The truth is, 100 years from now, these are going to be massive animals, but they're super cool, and they have a tremendous amount of personality. Now, both species of these tortoises, well, actually a bunch of different subspecies as well, are all vulnerable, but they're pretty much stable in their environment as long as we protect their habitat. And of course, we all know down in Ecuador that the Galaps are really heavily protected. And so the same thing with the Aldabra Islands, but in the future, it's not like these animals are going to go extinct if we continue to protect their land. But I tell you what, there's no other cooler tortoise than a Galap or an Aldabra. Just look at that thing. It's just amazing to think that one day this thing's gonna weigh about 5 times my weight. That thing is incredible. These guys are an absolute treat for me. Of course, I've handled some monsters that have been probably close to 200 pounds before. This one's a little bit easier to handle. But boy, it sure has a big attitude. Of course, this is an alligator snapping turtle, and these guys are unbelievably prehistoric. And again, they can get absolutely monstrous, and they can live a long time. There's been reports of 150 years plus, and I always think it's amazing because they're ambush hunters. They just keep that mouth open under the water, and as you can see with that back, if you were in a dirty, musky river, you would never even see it, and a fish just comes by and you see that little lure in its mouth, it just thinks it's a worm, and smash! It just nails that fish, and that's pretty much it. Now, what's really interesting with these guys is that it's always been thought that there was only one species of alligator snapping turtle, but recently there's studies, and there's up to 3 species depending on what river they're from. So it's pretty amazing, and it's cool to think that 100 years from now, this thing, there's no way I'm going to be picking this thing up. Wow, what an awesome animal. So finally, Chris, the man behind this insanity here. I mean, first off, thank you so much for having me. This place is, it's like a dream world. If I were you, I'd never leave the house. I just hang out here. So first off, let's talk about these. I've got so much to ask you. So let's talk about what we have in front of me right here, because these are 2 amazing animals.
You've got the famous radiated tortoise, and this is the Burmese Star tortoise. So the Burmese Star is functionally extinct in the wild.
And let's back up. Let's talk about what that exactly means.
Well, it means that what is left in the wild, which is not much at all, is not, really doing any good for the species. The TSA has been doing what they can, and other in situ, conservation motives and methods. They've been trying to repopulate, Myanmar, where they come from, and they are also, I think they're trying to do reintroductions in certain other areas, but I'm not 100% on that. But they, right now, they're considered, functionally extinct, whereas the radiated is critically endangered.
Critically endangered, and of course, that this is the radiated here, and so are there quite a few of these being worked on in captivity, or is there a pretty small group of those as well?
I think it comes down to an insider in the hobby. There are definitely people that are having success with both of these species, but it's not your average tortoise for the average keeper. There seems to be, as far as success rates go, I would say maybe they're kind of even because there seems to be a lot of radiated tortoises available in the pet trade, legally, which is a good thing.
Right.
And the Burmese, there is definitely some available, but I think the reason behind that is because these are a little bit more consistent in reproduction.
Okay,
You know,
gotcha.
radiateds don't seem to be as reliable. You know.
And these are adults here.
These are full-grown adults. That's an adult male. He actually may get bigger.
Okay.
But this is a female Burmese Star. She's full-grown. She's actually gravid right now. She's
Really?
got 10
Okay.
eggs inside her.
Oh, wow. You had
Yeah.
ultrasound? Or?
We had an X-ray done,
Oh,
and
X-ray.
we're expecting her to lay any day now.
Wow. So this is basically like some Asian stuff here. What do you have? This thing is unbelievably gorgeous. What's the deal with that? It's the cutest thing ever.
This is the Vietnamese black-breasted leaf turtle, or people in the hobby call them Spengleri because their scientific name is Geomyda spengleri.
So it's easier to say Spengleri than Vietnamese.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
You know, but they're just one of the most inquisitive turtles on the planet. You know, they're
Those eyes.
really sought after because they used to come into the country in huge numbers. You know, people were throwing these things around for years, and they don't do it anymore, so their price has gone up significantly. But they really make a great pet turtle for like an apartment dweller.
Okay.
Because this is it. You're looking at them full grown.
So this is it. This is as big as they get.
This is a full grown adult female.
Wow, and look at the color on the back here. I mean, that is gorgeous. So tell me, so this is a girl or a boy?
This is a girl.
Okay. And why are they so curious? I mean, every time you walk by the cage, they're kind of popping up, looking. It just
They're just inquisitive by nature. They stalk their prey. They'll completely attack a worm or anything that moves really. But we've also got them eating pellets and fruit, which is good.
Okay.
They seem to produce better. Anthony Pirlioni from theTurtleRoom, he's having a lot of success with them out in Connecticut. And one of the things that he truly believes is when you can get them to eat fruit and/or pellets, it helps
Really?
their. It's the theory that it seems to be proving out. But
Right.
they call them old owl eyes because of the.
oh my
just
gosh,
look at
those eyes are crazy. I mean, I just can't even believe it. That's there was even a couple times where it like tilted its head a little bit, like what's going on? It's almost
Yeah,
like a
they
puppy
just-
dog. It's that as cool as could
They
be,
just
and
kind of do their thing.
it's awesome. That's really cool. And what's this guy down here? This is obviously.
This is Barrett's box turtle, and this is one of the flowerback box turtles, which is critically endangered.
Oh, this is critically endangered. Okay.
And there's a lot of work that the Asian Turtle Program is really trying to do a lot of work with them with the three flowerbacks. You got Cora picturata, which is the southern flowerback. You've got the Cora galbinifrons, which is the northern flowerback, and then these guys, the Barrett's box turtle. And they're not really all that closely related at all to the American box turtles that we're used to, but they are a box turtle. They've got that hinge on the bottom, and they can close up completely when they feel threatened.
That is amazing. And I mean, the color is just crazy. It's critically endangered. So tell me about that. I mean, do you know what the status is as far as like what the wild population is with these guys, or?
There's still a major crisis going on with all Asian species. They're being smuggled. They're raping wild populations of them, and the TSA, the Asian Turtle Program, and other in situ organizations are doing whatever they can to try to save them, but they have a very low production rate. We get one egg out of our female a year. That's to give you an idea.
Wow, yeah, that makes a lot of sense then. I mean, it's hard to save a species when you're producing one baby a year.
It is. They're in it's a sad state for them.
All right, so what do we have here?
Well, we got some more Asian turtles in here. These are the southern keeled box turtles. There's two subspecies of them. This is Cora uhudai, or if I'm saying it right, obsti.
And these guys are crazy feeders.
Yeah. Well, you can see we got company here. They're just a very active, inquisitive species, similar to the black-breasted leaf turtle. They're bigger, but overall they have a very similar look. They have the serrated back, but they have those three keels right here. So they also sometimes call them the three-keeled box turtle or the jagged shell box turtle.
Oh, okay. But now when you've got three of them in here?
Yeah, there's a male and two females.
Male and two females. And when you feed these guys, it's pretty much
it's pretty intense.
Intense.
Yeah.
Got to watch out for fingers, toes, noses. They might jump
Faces.
onto anything.
Yep.
And are these? Do they still eat other things besides pinkies and worms and?
Yeah, they get they get similar to North American box turtles. They get their animal matter, they get fruit, they get vegetation.
Okay, so the whole thing.
But you got to watch it. Their feeding response to animal matter is pretty intense.
So you don't want to overfeed them because
No.
they'll probably eat themselves into becoming too
obese.
fat.
They can get obese quick.
Yeah.
like her.
It's so funny. As soon as you open up, they're just looking like, all right, there's got to be food here somewhere, and they'll just follow your finger around. These things are absolutely amazing. And then we have some other tortoises down below, right?
Yep, these are becoming a quick favorite of mine, but these are the South African bowsprit tortoise.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know if you want to try to grab the other male back there. So they're small, but they're an aggressive species, and they joust with these Gular scoots right here.
Okay, got you.
So these are two males, the female's over there, and in nature, they will fight over a female. You know, and whoever gets flipped over is the loser. But interesting enough, they've evolved to where other males will, you know, a third male come in and take that female while these two are fighting it out. You know?
Oh my gosh. So they basically just come in, they're going to try to flip each other like this?
Yep, that's what they do.
So here we are outside. The first thing I got to ask you before we talk about these amazing animals is, when I think of tortoises, I think of heat and warmth, and it's pretty chilly out here. It's got to be, what, maybe in the low 40s right now?
Yeah, I'd say 45 at best, you know.
And it's only going to get colder, so you have this outdoor. Tell me, like, how do you keep them going?
The you know, the testudo species are easy, you know, or easier in climates like this because by nature they do experience a winter, some less severe than others. But you know, that's why we put these cold frames in greenhouses in all the tortoise pens, because it enables them to stay in a more controlled temperature. They can regulate themselves a little bit. But that's why you see more of the exotic stuff, tropical species, arid species in the house, because obviously they can't experience this. But you know, these can.
That's amazing. And speaking of these these are pretty spectacular. So tell me about these guys.
These are Western Hermann's tortoises. They're the dominant race of the Hermann's tortoise. Probably eventually going to be elevated to a full species level so that there won't be subspecies anymore. They're endemic to only Italy, Spain, and France.
Really?
This one is from Spain. This is from the Balearic Islands. This one is from mainland Italy, Calabria. They're the only genetically tested ones in the USA.
Okay. So all of yours, or just these two?
No, all the whole
you
collection.
have.
We have several. We have at least 10 locales representing 10 locales in nature. And this has been my real passion ever since I was little. You know, my grandmother brought one of these back on a plane in 1991. She snuck a little baby over, and that's what started.
Oh my gosh, Grandma's a thief. She's a smuggler. Grandma, what's she doing?
And that's what got me started with these years ago. And I've just spent my life's work trying to really put together what these are all about.
Yeah, and guys, we're going to have an opportunity for you. If you go over on the Reptile Report, we're going to announce something in the future, and you're going to actually give away a couple little babies, right?
Yeah, we are.
And I mean, that's pretty amazing, because it's not like these are out there all over the place.
No, they're not.
That's a very rare opportunity,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, and you know, I like I said, you know, my wife and I have done so much to keep these things as pure as possible, not only to their subspecies, but to their, you know, in different locales. And it's all about making sure they end up in the right hands. We were lucky enough to get granted permission to do DNA work with them this past year. It was fully funded, and the results were really amazing. We're able to really distinguish the differences, you know.
Right. Tell me a little bit about their blandings, right?
These are Blandings turtles, and this is, believe it or not, they're comfortable. You know, they are incredibly cold tolerant. They're a Great Lakes turtle.
Yep.
And you know, we've got videos of them breeding in the 20s. When it's 20-something degrees out, you know, the males are after the females. And they are a species that truly needs a long, cold winter in order to be successful with, you know, breeding them. And they're bottomless pits too.
Really?
Yeah. In the summer, when these things are active, they just eat and eat and eat and eat. You know.
Now, does it get cold enough here in New Jersey for this?
Yeah, it is. We do have success breeding them.
Okay, good.
It does. You know, we're a little worried about this winter because it's been so mild up until like today. But you know, we're hoping for a really good 2016 season with them. But they really are they're really unique. You know, they're really cold hardy. They need that cold, and they never really fully seem to go into a real dormancy. You know, you can see them moving under the ice on the coldest days. You know.
So what do we have here?
This is a panhandle Gulf Coast box turtle. This is the largest subspecies of the eastern box turtle in the United States. This is Old Blue.
Wow,
he's got
a
blue and white head, and he's just an absolutely massive male. And what's incredible about them is, you know, they're native to northern Florida in the Panhandle, but they're incredibly adaptable. They actually spend all New Jersey winters right here outside.
They just burrow down just like he did.
They burrow down. Sometimes they go in the water, and it's just no problem for them. They're truly an incredibly adaptable and hardy species. You know, they just, even though they're from nowhere near up here, they can just withstand it, you know. And every year without fail, and especially last year, the winter we had was incredibly,
bad,
unbelievably cold, filled with snow, and these guys didn't skip a beat.
Tell me about them.
They don't mind the cold.
Obviously,
we're in pain, but they're not.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the North American wood turtle. They're an American icon, and they're arguably considered the smartest reptile on the planet.
Smartest reptile on the planet.
Yep.
And why would that be?
Well, they've tested them against lab rats, and they figured out the maze is faster.
What?
They've adapted to, they do what's called earthworm stomping. They figured out how to drive earthworms up out of the
Heard
ground.
of this, yeah, exactly. Because of the rain would get the earthworms up, so they stop.
They lift themselves up on one side and slam the plastron down onto the ground, and they do it over and over and over again until a worm thinks it's rain, comes up out of the surface, and they snatch it up, and they'll do it for hours and hours.
That is
And
cool.
the other thing too is they test the fences for weaknesses.
Really?
You know, they really will. Yeah, they will figure things out, the slightest change, and they'll go for it. They'll, you know, we're lucky enough where these turtles have been here long enough. They have a huge space. You know, try to replicate their habitat by trying to create like a mountain stream. You know, winter is no big deal for them, and they come from really mountainous regions. You know, where it is bitter cold for a high fraction of the year. And the males will breed the females in these streams, and they've documented in nature, and we see it right here. You know, we will see the males locked onto the females on the coldest days, just like the Blandings turtles.
It's just cool to think again that there's a place here in northern part of America that has all these cool turtles outside, and they do so well. So it's really cool. So, but speaking of cool, how about we go inside and get warm?
Yeah, let's do it.
So Chris, what are we doing in this tortoise pen right now?
Well, we got a marginated tortoise nesting. You know, winter clutches aren't too common, but because we keep these guys awake, it does happen. So this is our oldest female, and she started digging earlier this morning, and I don't know exactly how many hours it's been, but it's been a while. So she's done now.
It's a pretty big treat to be able to be here at the exact time that a tortoise happens to lay eggs. So let's dig and see what we can find.
All right. That was the first one. We should put them all the way over here.
So how many eggs would they typically lay?
Well, we've had as many as 11. I know some guys in Europe that get even more than that, but the mean or average is usually between 6 and 9, you know, but sometimes up to 11. But this is definitely a small clutch unless she had
three eggs, that's it.
That's it. It looks definitely for this clutch. That's it. There could be another one in there that she had done like maybe a week or two ago.
Oh, okay. So this might be a second clutch.
It might be, or it could be the beginning of something else that she's going to do in the near future.
Now, what happens after this? How long for these eggs? What do you incubate?
They're going to go into the incubator at about 88 degrees to hopefully produce females, and they'll hatch in usually right around 60 days on the dot.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so
it's
pretty quick.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? Just to see that is. It's pretty cool, and the fact that this is her first clutch that you've had, right?
Yeah, she's our oldest female, and we've had her for, probably either 9 or 10 years now. This is the first time. And the rest of these females have, multiple clutches all year long, but that's the first time that she's ever, nested for us.
That's awesome, isn't it? That's cool. Awesome. So these guys are probably some of the most, critical animals that you're working with, right? So what exactly are we about to look at?
Well, these, the common name is either the aquatic box turtle or the Coahuilan box turtle, and they're found only in one little area of Mexico. And it's basically a desert area with a spring that runs through it. And based on research that they've done, they estimate that now there's only about 2,000 of them left in the wild, and it's only that one locale. That's it.
Right. And let's take a look at it real quick. So these are, completely aquatic. I mean, they'll come out on land, but they spend most of their time.
They're still a box turtle, so they have box turtle habits. They do appreciate time on land, so you don't just keep them fully aquatic.
Right.
And in the summer, they're outside in a much more spacious pen where they have, both to select from. But they're extremely aquatic, and it's surprising to see them actually swim like an aquatic turtle, like, the babies especially.
Tell my audience where they can find you so that you can educate them on the things you want.
GardenStateTortoise.com. I'm always updating it with care sheets, cool photos, stuff like that. I have a Western Hermann site dedicated solely to Hermanns and other testudo tortoises from the Mediterranean. That's HERMANNI.com. And I partner with theTurtleRoom. So that's theTurtleRoom.com, and that's a fully educational, conservation-based website with species profiles. We do a daily turtle news blog with what's going on everywhere in the world, with turtles. So, and we're on Facebook and Instagram.
Instagram and Facebook. So guys, check him out. It's really cool what he has going on here. Thank you so much for having us out, man. This
Thanks
has been
for being
awesome.
here, man.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So, you know, it's so awesome that you're getting involved in this giveaway, and obviously this Albino Sulcata is just absolutely precious. So tell me a little bit about your place first. I mean, you're out in Arizona, and what kind of stuff are you working with?
Mostly tortoises, about 40 different species or subspecies, and then a few turtles, but try to focus mainly on the tortoises.
Now, the albinos are a recessive mutation, right?
Right.
Now, are we seeing any issues with them because of that albinism? I mean, obviously a lot of animals that need to be in the sun, a lot of heat, you know, the albinos sometimes, do we have any problems with these guys?
Well, a lot of people are concerned thinking that the albinos go blind after a certain amount of time or are blind. That's really a fallacy. There is a certain percentage of them that might be blind, maybe 1 out of 20.
Okay.
But if they're not blind from the get-go, usually they don't go blind.
Sure.
You just treat them like a normal tortoise or a normal sulcata. With the red eyes, they need a little bit more shade, filtered sunlight, and then mud pits or mud wallows for them to get natural sunscreen on their shell.
That would be the way to protect them from that sun. Exactly. Now, sulcata, they're a long-lived animal, obviously. So, what's the sexual maturity on a sulcata?
It's usually depends on size rather than age. You can get a younger animal up to a certain size quicker by feeding it more, but roughly about 18 inches is good average for a female to start producing, and you're looking at 8 to 10 years to reach that size.
That's a big commitment, guys. You know, and that's the thing. I think the thing I love about guys like you and Chris are that you're in it for the love of the animal, not just like the, you know, let's make a quick buck and put a million sulcata in pet shops or something like that. Because, hey, let's face it, you know, an animal like a sulcata isn't a pet for everybody.
Correct. They're large size. It could be a hindrance. They need their own special enclosures. You put them right in your backyard, and you'll see tables moving around, chairs will be going across the yard, different things like that.
So guys, I told you earlier in the show that we're going to be doing a really cool giveaway for that albino snapper and albino sulcata. Well, I'm here with the man, Robin Markland from Ship Your Reptiles and Reptile Report. So tell me exactly how this is going to go down.
We're doing that double giveaway, as you mentioned, and we're raising awareness for the Turtle Room. Arizona Tortoise Compound had donated the albino sulcata. Turtle Room was involved with the albino snapper. We're very excited about it. It also raises awareness for TTPG, the Turtle and Tortoise Preservation Group. And so what we're going to do is bookend the Best of 2015 awards. Very early in the awards, for the first week, we're going to do a giveaway for the albino sulcata, and you'll be able to go to the Reptile Report and enter every day for a week to win that animal.
So it's simple, doesn't cost anything.
Doesn't cost anything, there's no obligation to it. You can just go to the reptilereport.com, the Best of Awards for 2015, and there'll be an entry right there, real easy to do. And you'll be able to enter once a day during that initial giveaway period. And then throughout the voting for Reader's Choice, because we do a Reader's Choice Awards as well as Editor's Choice. So through the voting for Reader's Choice, you'll be able to go and enter every day for the albino snapper as well. And so that sulcata will be at the first part of the awards, and the albino snapper will kind of do the duration and the end of the awards this year.
And then towards the end of this whole thing, you'll announce what the Western Hermann's tortoise thing is going to be about.
Yeah.
That's going to be later after the Best of the 2015 awards.
Yeah, Chris was very generous from Garden State Tortoise to donate a couple of Western Hermann's tortoises. Babies, which we saw today. They're very awesome, and we're going to do a follow-up promo with those as well. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, guys, this was absolutely incredible, and Robin, thanks for being involved with this and kind of bringing me in on it. And as always, guys, I'm Facebooking and tweeting my way through it, so make sure to follow me over at SnakeBytesTV and on Instagram at SnakeBytes.tv. And remember, go to the Reptile Report to the 2015 Best of Awards and go ahead and win yourself a really cool turtle or tortoise. And the link will be in the description for all the information. Till next week, you've been watching Snake Bites.
Hi, I'm Peter Birch, an Aussie bloke who loves wildlife. My respect for nature started when I was a young boy in rural New South Wales. Since then, it's exploded into an obsession. New episodes every Thursday only on AnimalBytesTV.